Also, Complex has put out their 10 most influential women in sports. And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1.
As if shattering records on the court wasn't enough, Caitlin Clark just claimed yet another huge victory without even putting on her sneakers, solidifying her place as the most prominent female athlete in sports at the moment. And guess what? She defeated Angel Reese, who is obviously not taking it well.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Get me a little more grace, that's correct. While Clark is out there winning awards, expanding the game, and changing the course of history, Reese is frantically trying to find an excuse, pretending that this distinction is unimportant. But let's face it, if she had won, we wouldn't have heard the end of it rather than applauding the accomplishments of others. Reese is doing what she does best, which is to minimize Clark's accomplishments and spend more time on TikTok than the gym.
Announcing the top 10 most influential athletes right now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark, check. Breaking records. Caitlin Clark, check. Proving their impact goes far beyond the game, from sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion. These women are leading the way. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only one right answer. There's only one correct choice.
Furthermore, let's be clear that this isn't just about an award. It's about who the fans genuinely care about. One player has people watching her because of her incredible skill, and everyone else is well known for making headlines for everything but basketball. One side views this as a rivalry, but let's face it, it's not really a competition when one player is indeed.
What is your stance on that?
So my whole thing was when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm cool. The pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm all right, cool, I can just hoop. So I'm all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
And they're oh.
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to figure things out.
We're going to delve into the statistics, the impact, and the funny aftermath. So let's get started. Let's examine why Clark won this honor, what makes her influence so evident, and most importantly, why Angel Reese is acting as though she was just robbed.
And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. I think it's hilarious. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't believe there's a singular world, where Angel Reese should be ahead of Simone Biles either. There, I put that out loud.
Caitlin Clark destroyed records rather than merely breaking them. No player in WNBA history has ever dominated like this, and we're only in the first season. Let that sink in. Breaking 62 records in a single season isn't just about making history. It's about rewriting the entire record book.
Expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the Fever rookie!
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
However, this is where things become even more absurd. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the Indiana Fever were struggling for relevance in the league's basement. Then, suddenly, they made the playoffs for the first time in almost 10 years. This isn't just individual greatness, it's team-changing dominance. Clark didn't just put up crazy numbers, she changed the course of an entire franchise.
The woman who's been putting women's basketball on her back for the better part of 3 years now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball.
Additionally, because this is where Clark totally distances herself from the so-called rivals, let's discuss the off-court impact. It's not a misprint that the WNBA's product sales skyrocketed by 500% during her debut season. You already know who wasn't selling out. Angel Reese's jerseys were just sitting there gathering dust while Clark's were gone in a matter of minutes. The league's demand for merchandise quadrupled the instant she stepped on the court, with jerseys, t-shirts, and memorabilia flying off the shelves at a rate the WNBA had never seen before.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
However, this goes beyond jersey sales. The entire league's economy is shifting as a result of Clark's influence. The number of viewers has never been higher. Teams that once pleaded for fans to attend are now rushing to increase their seating in order to meet the demand. But arenas that once had trouble selling tickets are now completely sold out, just when Clark is in town.
So that's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number one. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number one. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. That's right. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Clark's impact is undeniable. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105%.
Even sports economists have been astounded by Clark's influence. Thayer Laviel, a prominent figure in the sports industry, referred to Clark as a lightning rod for women's basketball and likened her to Michael Jordan for enhancing the sport's reputation and worth. And she is, in all honesty, correct.
Because when we went to the WNBA games and we went to go watch Caitlin Clark when they came to play the Washington Mystics in D.C., and they shut that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards played, and it was packed. It was sold out for people to see Caitlin Clark. That did not happen the day before that when they went to Chicago to play Angel Reese.
Let's discuss hard data. Experts estimate that Clark's ascent will raise the total worth of women's basketball by $1.6 billion over the next 3 years. Yes, $1 billion with a B. After his debut season alone brought in an incredible $36 million for Indianapolis.
I'm going to look at this the way I did with Michael Jordan. Now, she's not the Michael Jordan of her sport as far as athleticism, playing, dominating. But A'ja Wilson is the best player in the game. Not even a debate. But I'm talking about value now. Value to a franchise, value to a league, getting your team in the playoffs. They had the number one pick. They were the worst team last year. And there is value that I can attach.
What does all of this mean, then? Beyond simply dominating on the court, Caitlin Clark is a movement that is changing the course of a whole league, attracting new fans, generating enormous income, and elevating women's basketball to the status of a must-watch sport on television.
I'm talking about value. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player every single year because of what he meant to his team and what he meant to the league. And, oh, by the way, winning 6 titles. Can't argue with that. Caitlin Clark may not win titles. Las Vegas is still a great team. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, you know, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league.
Angel Reese is still sitting there, trying to comprehend why she wasn't selected the most influential person. Perhaps she would understand this if she put more effort into improving her skill and less time into whining on social media.
Sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry, based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese. Stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up on TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips. And it'll say Angel Reese part 36. And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses. Bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe.
Although Caitlin Clark's path to these awards may appear to have been predetermined, the true story is much more complex. For example, remember Angel Reese? The media pushed a rivalry between the two, portraying it as the final battle and a season-long conflict that had fans glued to the screen. But let's be honest, was it ever truly close?
Saying Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
The media pushed the story of two rookies competing for WNBA supremacy from the beginning, but as the season went on, it became painfully clear that there was a difference, and that one player was dominating the league while the other was more frequently in the headlines than the box office.
Reese, 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. I say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang!
Our stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages.
Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan. Bang!
Subsequently, Rookie of the Year and the first team All WNBA were announced, and that's when it was revealed that Clark didn't just win. She ran away with it. The so-called competition wasn't even close, and Reese, well, she wasn't exactly graceful in defeat. Went straight to social media to say that Clark didn't deserve the honor. Can you imagine losing a race by a wide margin and then calling for a recount?
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
However, here's the thing. Reese is still attempting to persuade people that she is on par with Clark, but Clark's success isn't about awards or personal rivalries. She's changing the WNBA and making a bigger impact than basketball. She's expanding the game, breaking attendance records, and attracting millions of new fans.
I thought scoring, yes, she's the all-time greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, men's or women's, but passing like this? I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque bounce passing. I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque two-handed, full court, touchdown pass kind of passing. The likes of which I don't see in the WNBA.
That's not to argue that Reese hasn't helped the WNBA gain popularity. She certainly keeps things interesting, but let's face it, Clark is attracting admirers for her skills while Reese is receiving attention for everything but her abilities. It's like witnessing two whole different routes to success. One was founded on excellence, while the other on controversy.
That skinny white girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league, the entire league, the one you can't take your eyes off of.
However, this is the larger picture. Not just another medal, Clark's most significant athlete honor marks a sea change for the WNBA. Not only is she breaking records, but she's also growing the league's reach. People aren't just watching her. They're watching women's basketball in unprecedented numbers. Of course, not everyone is excited about Clark's ascent. Some WNBA legends and veterans have reacted negatively, claiming that too much focus on one player could overshadow others. However, let's face it, where was all this excitement before Clark arrived? If the league wanted widespread attention, they had years to build it. Instead, it took Clark interrupting the status quo and changing the course of events to bring the WNBA to this level.
Wilson is her name. Quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is."
Clark's hype, according to some critics, could raise unrealistic expectations or overshadow team play. But guess what? The WNBA needs it. Basketball is a star-driven sport, and suddenly it has a superstar who compels attention. While Angel Reese is reeling from her defeat, Clark is out there winning larger than ever, whether her detractors like it or not. She is the one driving the league ahead, and no amount of whining will change that. More eyes on Clark equals more eyes on the WNBA, and that benefits everyone.
Now you're going to cut down 22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has single-handedly changed the game, brought in millions of other young fans, old fans. How about the ratings in college basketball for her? Record ratings. And now in her very short WNBA career, shattering records. Isn't that a win for everybody?
Beyond simply shattering records, Caitlin Clark has had a significant impact on the WNBA's brand development for years. The league needs to market its players more effectively, not just 1 or 2 stars, according to critics. While it is a valid point, reality cannot be denied. Since people enjoy watching brilliance, and Clark isn't only collecting awards, his presence has been the largest catalyst for change the league has ever seen. Through her domination and game, she is redefining what is possible in the sport. Her ability to draw attention is demonstrating how entertaining women's basketball is.
Like, what are we doing and why? Please stop. Let's celebrate Caitlin Clark, celebrate her greatness, celebrate her courage to keep pushing through.
Consider this for a moment. What's next for Clark and Reese? Their alleged rivalry has done wonders for drawing attention to the league. But let's face it, it's only a rivalry on one side. Clark is not just breaking records, she is shattering them into pieces. She is forcing everyone to reimagine what a single WNBA season can look like. The expectations for rookie teams and even the league itself have completely changed because of her. She is elevating the entire sport, inspiring young players, and ensuring that the WNBA isn't just growing, it's thriving. Reese is more concerned with remaining relevant than Clark is with winning, but whether you like it or not, their dynamic is bringing the WNBA to a whole new level of prominence.
Caitlin Clark, you go, girl. Don't listen to these people. Keep going strong. Most of us are normal and have your back.
The next time these two compete, keep in mind that this is about the WNBA's development, not just competition. Each game they play is an opportunity to expand the sport, set records, and win over new fans. The only question now is who is prepared to step up and continue, and it's definitely not Angel Reese. The Caitlin Clark age is already here. Tell us in the comments below if you believe Clark's dominance is beneficial for the WNBA or if she is pushing the other leagues aside. Don't forget to subscribe and switch on all alerts so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.